Hi everyone, welcome back to the AP Palfs channel, and for the first time on my channel I'm doing a race review. Now this is the recent round 5 of the APPF1 Sprint Championship, and we are at Zandvoort for race 1. 25% race, and we had one shot quali, and we managed to put the car in 11th place on the grid. Teammate went 3rd, and you can probably hear some talking in the background. That is myself and my teammate having a chat before the race start. Zandvoort's not a track that I'm traditionally strong at, and as we head round to the grid we are just waiting for the red lights to come on. And like I said, we're still on a wheel and we're still getting used to the wheel, but here we go, here come the lights. So 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light and 5 lights. We get a good pull away, but then we short shift into second, overspin the rears, and then pang, we're in the barrier. Red wing damage at Zandvoort is never a good idea. So not the best start to the race ever, and then eventually a virtual safety car comes out for an incident I'm not quite sure of, didn't see that. And at this point in the race we're now deciding, should we pit in? It's a high downforce circuit, so the answer is probably yes, but it means we're going to have to take the mediums from lap 2 to the end of the race, which is a little bit of a risk, but nevertheless we need to do it. And here we are then, we're coming out the pit lane. And at this point, it's now just, let's get the head down. We're in 18th place. Let's get my head down. I got 16 laps to go, and I need to focus, set some decent lap times, and actually start to claw this gap back. You can see Sumo's 3.7 ahead of me. Bluey's 11th, and Bluey's really my championship rival at the moment. We're battling for position. TTV Max is 15th, so we're well off the front runners, but we have done our pit stop, and if we can get these mediums to the end of the race, we've got a really strong chance of at least, I don't know, getting top 10 if we're lucky. So as we come around to the last sector, this part of the track became very tricky towards the end of the race. As we come around to complete our first lap, you can see the gaps. The gap to Sumo's increased a little bit. Sumo's a very fast driver. He'd had an incident on the early part of the race, so did Bluey, so that's why we're all on medium, so we're all in the same boat. We set a 1:33 on the outlap, and we kept our head down, and we got a 1:13.2, which wasn't a bad lap for me around Zandvoort on a wheel. Others are a lot faster than me, but I was quite happy with that. And we tried to keep the pace as consistent as possible over the next few laps, so 13.0 on lap 5. We're just slowly dragging the gap down. So the gap to Sumo is increasing, but the gap to Blue was decreasing. End of lap 5, we set a nice little 13.3, and we're just starting to move up a little bit. We're 17th now. We've jumped Ethan with the pit stops, and then the next lap we're going to jump the Alpha in the pits of Ginger Prince, and we're up to 16th now. And we just kept trying to jump. We didn't really have to overtake anyone at this point. We were just trying to keep our pace up so we could jump people when they came into the pit lane. Lap 9 we did a 1:13.9, slightly slower lap, but we jumped the other Alpha into 15th, and we're just gradually getting our way back into the race. As we got to the end of lap 9, we jumped an Alpha Tauri in the pit lane, a bit mappy, and we managed, and the crucial bit was we managed to jump Starry in the Red Bull. Starry was very patient and very clean at this point. He could have easily dived up the inside, but he held his place, took his position, and settled down for the race. But now the telling point is he's on new mediums, new softs. I'm on old mediums that have got to go another 7 laps in this race. His softs have got to go 8 laps, so he's going to be able to push a bit harder than me. It's a bit of a concern. And as we come around to the end of lap 10, Starry's got himself a 5-second penalty, which has helped, and then we're 1.2 seconds off, and we were just saving everything for this banking, absolutely everything for this banking and for the final DRS straight. This is probably the best overtaking spot in Zandvoort. And as we come around again, the gap's down to 3/10 because the soft tyres are starting to tell my old mediums, but we save as much overtake, as much fuel as possible during the lap, and we're pushing hard now to try and avoid Starry getting the overtake, but he is closing down on us. He has a look up the inside, thinks better of it, holds position there. Ginger Prince, we're coming around to lap. Now the 5-second penalty would give Starry a bit of a headache later on, but this section became so challenging as we got further into the race. The medium tyres started to wear out quite badly, and we actually found that grip was a problem. The last right-hander wasn't too bad, but we had to just watch the understeer turning in. The banking was fine, but again, saving the overtake, saving as much fuel as possible so we can get a good run out of the corner. Get to that 14, and we're struggling on the tyres now a little bit. We've got increased our gap to Starry, which is good. And you'll notice at this point that S-Man, who's in 10th, is only 2.5 seconds ahead of us. And we thought, should we have a go? And top 10's better than 11th, especially for points for Team Haas, with my teammate up in 3rd at this point. Sorry, 2nd at this point. So we keep pushing the tyres as hard as possible. We keep the gap to 7/10 between us and Starry in the Red Bull. And we're starting to close up on S-Man. You get that feeling when you get within 2 seconds of a car that, you know, a little bit of push, you've got a chance of catching that guy. So we're 1.6 behind S-Man at the moment, and we're pushing hard on these tyres. We haven't got a lot of ERS left. We've got a bit of fuel left, but we're just going to push for 2 laps, see if we can get an extra position, take the risk to score that extra point in the championship. As we continue round to the lap, as we come through the end of sector 2, we've actually caught S-Man up and we're nearly in DRS range. We are now in DRS range of S-Man. So we get the first lot of DRS, which is actually going to be a bit of help come the end of the race, because the tyres were really hard work at this point, as you can tell by the understeer going wide there. And it's going to help us stay away from Starry on those wonderful soft tyres. They're starting to get used, but they're still better than my very old mediums. So we get the overtake on again, we get Rich, and we got DRS now. So we're in the DRS train, which is going to help us stay away from Ethan and Starry in the Red Bull and the Mercedes. And we're closing up on S-Man, who's a bit exposed at the front of the DRS train. He's run wide into turn 1, but we hold station. No point in diving up there because there's going to be contact. Into the banking, we run a little bit wide just to make sure S-Man knows we're there. And then onto the very beautiful end of sector 1, the fast section of Zandvoort. This is fantastic to drive. Yellow flag came up, so we had to be careful because Starry had a bit of a spin at that point. Diving down through the long right-hander, which is brilliant. The little right jink in 5th gear up to 6th, just because the tyres are starting to scream out and tell me to stop butchering them as much as I was. We're still in DRS and we're putting S-Man under a lot of pressure now. You can tell he's running a bit wide there, and we get another lot of DRS to pull us through. We've just got to be careful through these final set of corners not to give up too much time to S-Man, so we can have a run at him on the next DRS straight. And here we go then, 5/10 off him. Really concentrating on getting a decent run out this last corner. S-Man goes defensive on the inside of the bank and just throws it wide a little bit. DRS open. Use the tow from his car, use the DRS, use the rich fuel, use the overtake, and then we get 10th place on the final lap of the race. And so then we hold position in 10th, we cross the line, and there we have it. We finished in 10th place overall. If you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn notifications on so you don't miss any future updates from me. So race 2 of the night was at Canada, and if you've not watched an APPF1 sprint race before, race 2 is a full reverse grid. So we finished 10th, we start 10th, and all the faster guys are behind us, and we've got all the guys who were finished behind us in race 1 in front of us for race 2. Me and my teammate Devola 919 were both very nervous going into this one because of the nature of turn 1 and 2 at Canada being that you just cut back on yourselves, and there's the possibility of wheel banging, possibility of contact, possibility of spinning, which is always a nerve-wracking part. But most importantly, let's see if we can get off the line this time without a visit to the barrier. One loads up. Here we go then. 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, 5 lights, and we're off. And we don't short shift into second this time. We get the grip, we wait for the revs to come on, and then we go. Now Wayne gets an absolutely insane start, and then it's just trying to avoid contact, avoid any issues. We have a little bit of a wheel bang there, but everyone generally behaves themselves through turn 2. Turn 3 is alright, and then here we go through turn 1, a bit of an incident on the entrance to turn 3. The AlphaTauri's gone a little bit wide. We have to pull out of that move because of the overspeed we had on him because of his incident. And now we're looking to see if we can get past him next. We've got 100% ERS, we haven't used it yet, and we turn the engine up, ERS on, and we are past the AlphaTauri, and we're up to 7th on that one, which isn't too bad. Canada was a challenging track because it's so strict. Corner cutting on Canada is so difficult to manage, and penalties are always going to happen. But nevertheless, we get a decent run out of the last corner, and we get QBVII on just on a normal overtake. But we got the Red Bull cutting the grass there, a little bit of a spin. The Mercedes does well to avoid him, and then we can't do anything to avoid that incident. So we get a bit of damage on the front wing. Now again, you get to this point where you're like, do we pit? Do we stop at this point and try and change the front wing? Now we're up to 5th already. Front wing's not red, it's only yellow, so we're going to get a bit of understeer, but we actually decided to hold the damage, because especially with the incident with the McLaren up ahead, and we're up to 4th. We've got Ghost behind us, who's one of the guys contending for the championship. He's a lot faster than me at the moment. So we're playing about with 4th place at the moment, potentially 3rd, which is a podium finish. So pitting onto and changing my wing at this point in the race was just not a good idea. You want the tyre grip. You need the grip with the tyres to be able to fight these corners at Canada. Yeah, the downforce is helpful, but we decided to stay out. Now Ghost is about to get past us on the left hand side. We didn't really fight much because he's a much faster driver. My race isn't with him. My race is with everyone else at this point. So we crack on with it. We're gonna lose about a second a lap with the wing damage, but it's just we can at least defend on the track. If we go in for the pit stop, we're going to lose a lot of time. So here we go then, into the last corner on end of lap 3. Ginger Prince has been compromised through the final corner, so we get past him and we're back up to 4th. Ghost has just set the fastest lap of the race and is battling with Wayne there to get past him. Nice little battle at turn 1 and 2. Lovely bit of driving by those two boys, so well done guys. And yeah, the wing damage is affecting us, but not overly. It's not affecting the tyre wear, which is fine. It was just the understeer into some of the corners, which was horrific. So we're behind Wayne now. We've caught him up. A little bit of a lock up into the hairpin. We've run wide, mainly because of the damage to the front wing. And then we're going after Wayne now. So we get DRS, we get ERS, hit the overtake button, get rich fuel, and the overspeed is incredible as we dive past Wayne, get the pass done before the chicane, take a bit of a defensive line into the chicane just to cover off any moves by the Mercedes driver, and got DRS again just to pull away. So at this point the top 4 in the race had, at the end of lap 7, the top 4 had 3-second penalties, which later came into effect and affected the rest of the race, but we decided to pit in at the end of lap 7. We're not changing the wing, we're just changing to the medium tyres. As we crack out again at the start of lap 8, we find ourselves in 8th place, but a lot of the guys in front of us haven't stopped yet. As we continue around, this is actually the end of lap 9, and we've actually got Gremlin in the Mercedes behind us. Only 4/10, causing us all sorts of problems. And we're just trying to hold him off at the moment down the straight. Rich fuel, overtake out the hairpin. Just hoping we can get the top speed through the corner, down the straight, sorry. So we're not going to get taken out by him. Well, not taken out. I don't mean taken out. Gremlin's an incredibly clean driver. I mean overtaken. But we do jump the Ferrari, our championship rival Bluey, in the pit at the end of lap 10 in the pit stops. We've actually set our best lap of the race, which was a 12.2, which wasn't great. But with wing damage, I'm quite happy with that. But you can see we've got a few drivers behind us now. And here we go then. We've got Gremlin still behind. He's got a 5-second penalty. You can see Tier ahead of us has got a 6-second penalty in the Alpha. And Ghost has got 3 seconds up ahead. Sumo, who's in the Renault's just jumped into the pit lane, and we're going to get the jump on him. So far so good. We get a jump on Vardy as well, but he's popped on the soft tyres and hasn't got time penalties yet, so he's doing very well. You can hear my teammate there trying to get the jump on Vardy as well as he comes out of the pit lane. And unfortunately my teammate wasn't able to get the jump, and that's our time penalty. It takes up to 6 seconds, which really screwed us over in terms of the drivers behind, because we've got Ted behind us in a Red Bull with no penalties, Vardy with no penalties on the soft tyre, Ghost and Tira got 6 seconds in front of us, so it's all square for the top 3. And you've got 2 fast drivers behind us, and you've got to try and push with wing damage, which is hard, which is tough. And Ted's an incredibly quick driver, so's Vardy, and he was on the soft tyres. So we're defending quite hard now. We're trying to stop Ted getting past us. We go defensive up into the chicane, which was probably the worst thing we could have done. Compromised our line. We lost loads of speed out of there, and then that gave Ted a really good run on us into the hairpin. Now Ted's going to force us onto the inside to defend, which again compromises our speed. And Ted had a compromised line in the Red Bull going through that corner. So Vardy on his soft tyres in the Williams is now just waiting for the DRS to switch on. We haven't got enough ERS to defend, and to be fair, my race isn't with Vardy at this point in the Williams, so he breezes past us on the soft tyres, and he's going to head off and try and catch his teammate and the Alpha in front. And now we're left to battle with the Red Bull of Ted. And you can see the guys, Ted, my teammate Devola and Vardy haven't got penalties, and everyone else in front of us has, including myself. So we're battling now, and Ted's just got past us on the DRS on the straight. And we dropped down to 5th, and at this point you can see our championship rival in the Ferrari has moved up to 7th. And now me and Dave are trying to just sort out the overtake just to get him an extra points. So we leaned it, we short shifted out of the hairpin, and we gave Devola the position to help him out in the championship battle. So at this point we are losing 6th place to Scott, but our championship rival has got 6 seconds of penalties, so we're equal, so we will finish in front of him, which is a bit of a relief. So there we go then, race 2 finish. We finish in 7th place, and there we go. Thanks a lot for riding on board with me today, and if you did enjoy this race review of round 5 of the APPF1 Sprint Championship, don't forget to click the like button. If you have enjoyed the video, leave a comment, let me know what you thought of it, so I know whether this is something you want to see more on my channel. And there's more content from my AP Palfs channel in the middle of the screen now, and if you do check it out, you do enjoy it, go ahead and click the subscribe button. But thanks a lot for watching, my name's AP, and I'll see you soon.